Are you ready to learn about American education post-Revolutionary War to 1900? After the Revolutionary War, school systems in the United States consisted of dilapidated buildings run by those who were not seen as fit to work any other job. Pupils of wealthy families were taught at home or by a local woman who was paid to instruct them to read and sometimes write, oftentimes just reciting and memorizing
Red,
passages of books.
orange, yellow, green, blue, Indian.
Thomas Jefferson was at the forefront of educational reform. In 1778, he authored Bill 79, a bill for more general diffusion of knowledge, which provided a comprehensive plan for public education. And so the American school system was born. With the expansion of the U.S. and the growing Western Front, a need arose for teachers willing to move out west and establish schools for all of the pioneer children. That's where Catherine Beecher comes in. Catherine Beecher was an influential person to the early American education system. She believed in teacher training programs, daily exercise for children in schools, and reading aloud. She was also an early advocate of kindergarten. While Miss Beecher was training teachers for the Western Front, Horace Mann was learning about the common school from Prussia. Horace Mann introduced America to the idea of the common school. Common schools offered children a chance to learn the same content with children separated in grades by age. They offered trained teachers and a basic elementary education. While rural children waited for their chance at an education, big changes were happening. By the year 1870, all states had tax-subsidized elementary schools. The Blaine Amendments, passed in the late 19th century, stated that tax money wasn't to be used for parochial schools. This reflected the popular Protestant influence on the United States at the time and was primarily targeted toward Catholic immigrants. In 1896, the Plessy v. Ferguson decision established separate public schools for black and white students. This marks the beginning of segregation in schools and the idea of separate but equal. In 1890, the first African American school was opened in Winter Park, Florida. In 1852, Massachusetts was the first state to pass laws that required every city and town to offer a primary school with lessons in basic grammar and arithmetic. By 1900, 34 states had compulsory laws, and by 1918, all children were required to attend school. Because of this period of reform, we now have a more organized educational system in America. That's some pretty great stuff, don't you think?